British, American, Australian, and then Indian accent. However, something which is understood globally is known as a neutral accent. So let's try our best to work on this. And remember, practice pays. Accent is important not only for clarity of expression, but also to ensure you leave a lasting impression. Your listeners will definitely admire the way you speak if your choice of words, pronunciation style, and accent are reflective. Not only can you be confident while giving interviews, but also you'll end up developing your personality. Now, we'll head on in our path to succeed for our speech enhancement, step by step. But you'll have to make a promise to me, and most importantly, to yourself, that you will only go ahead from one lesson to another when you are completely satisfied and convinced by your results. Before we start pronouncing words and framing sentences, it's very important for us to understand some basics of correct pronunciation. Indians have a very fast rate of speech, because of which we tend to keep our mouth openings very minute and quickly proceed or jump to the next word. In order to apply an impact, it is very important to speak clear and with proper word stress. For this, our mouth needs warm-up exercises. Let's start and make this a daily routine, especially before starting this program every time. Practice these sounds. Feel the complete muscular movement of each sound. Pronounce them more than you would in ordinary speech. First sound. Ooked, oaked, oct, oct, iked, eked, ooged, ogged, ogged, ugged, iged, eeged, ooped, opt, 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 iped, eeped, oobed, obed, 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 ibed, ebed, owned, owned, ommed, armed, aimed, aimed, ult, olt, alt, alt, ilt, ilt, old, 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 ald, ild, ild, old, 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 ald, ild, ild. Vowel sounds. The English language has 26 letters in the alphabet series, out of which there are 21 consonants and 5 vowels. These 5 vowels constitute 12 different sounds, which are essential for proper pronunciation. For example, there are many things that are essential about English, whereas it should be there are many things that are essential about English. Sound number 1, A-Y. When the letter A comes in a word and sounds like an A as well, produce the sound by keeping your chin falling down and then bring it up to say an E. The combination of these two sounds is the American A sound. For example, take, make, bake, cake, fake, lake, sake, table, plate, late, faith, fate, great, mate. Please take me to the doctor. Can you make me a sandwich? Do you know how to bake potatoes? Have you tried a strawberry cake? Some people are so fake. Let's go down to the lake. For God's sake, don't take that step. Put the coffee on the table. Can you pass the plate? Never be late for your first day of work. I'm sure you have faith in me. No one can determine your fate. That sounds great. Australia, a friend is known as a mate. AH. When your upper jaw as well as your lower jaw expand apart, which means your upper jaw goes up and your lower jaw goes down. You make an ah sound, keeping in mind that your cheek muscles need to remain straight and your mouth will form a shape of an oval. For example, car, far, bar, jar, Mars, darts, lava, garnish, garden, pardon, party, hard, guard, cards. I bought a new car. How far is the market? I saw two guys sitting at the bar. In the cupboard, there is a jar of jam. Aliens come from Mars. Have you ever played a game of darts? A volcano erupts lava. We still need to garnish the potatoes. I beg your pardon? Could you please repeat yourself? Get ready soon. We need to go to a party. I've always found math to be so hard. You should always have a security guard. There's one thing that we can do. Why don't we play cards? I. When only your lower jaw, that's your lower chin, stretches down, you then produce an AI sound. For example, man, can, van, tan, ran, fan, hand, massive, traffic, jam, pan, vanish, slavish, lavish, pass, track, hack, lapse, tap, grab, chance. He's a man of great words. Would you like to drink a can of Pepsi? I've heard he's just bought a new van. Lying on the beach, I developed a tan. While playing football, he ran like the wind. It's getting hot. Can you please turn on the fan? I think I've hurt my hand. In the morning today, there was a massive traffic jam. There must be a frying pan in the kitchen. The burglar had to vanish behind the bushes. Even after so much of hard work, he was slavish in his behavior. In order to maintain his image, he had to be lavish in his expenditure. Can you please pass the salt? Did you know our school has a national-sized racetrack? At an early age, he was referred to as a computer whiz and could hack computers. In his professional career, this was the biggest ever lapse he saw. The water tap seems to be broken. You must always grab your opportunities if given a chance. W sound. When your lips form a circular formation, however, a bit more opening than an exact O. For example, all, fall, call, tall, haul, squash, ball, wall, contract, caught, bought, thought, fought, lung, taught, war, brawl, solve, crawl, walk, posture. All the kids ran to the playground in their break time. She looked down and was afraid she might fall. The call center industry is at a booming stage. The city was full of extremely tall buildings. For the marriage, we must book a banquet hall. In the game of squash, the ball has to hit the wall. Can I have your contact number? The police caught him red-handed. I think he bought a second-hand car before signing the papers. Give it a complete thought. I think they both fought all night long. I must have taught you how to ride a bike when you were young. America and Iraq were on a war for so many years. You'll always find a brawl happening near a bar. Who can actually solve this question of mine? Babies first crawl before they can actually walk. It's important to keep a straight posture while walking. H sound, OH sound. When your lips form a circular formation and your lips stretch away from your mouth, forming an exact O, it's as if you're blowing on a candle. For example, cold, toad, roll, bold, fold, mold, hold, gold, poultry, lower, blower, chorus, torn, born, horn, thorn. These winners were very cold this time. Haven't I told you the rules already? In bowling, you need to roll the ball. Always be bold and brave. Can you please fold your clothes properly? Pottery needs to be molded accurately. You hold my hand. I'll hold yours. These days, everyone is in search of gold. I've heard there's a lot of money in poultry farming. Can you please lower your window? Blower on? I think it is. Let's all try singing in a chorus. You know what? I was torn inside when you told me the truth. Some people are very lucky to be born on the 1st of January. I think I just stepped on a thorn. It really hurts. O sound, similar to that of an OH sound or OH mouth formation. However, this time with less of an opening to stretch the OO sound. For example, tool, pool, cruel, truth, ruthless, loop, cool, poor, rule, mute, mood, rude, crude, food, fruit. A projector is a training tool for most organizations. In India, the trend of playing pool is increasing day by day. Grown-ups can sometimes be so cruel. A child is always told to tell the truth. Some consider eating chickens a ruthless act. Poor people sleep on the streets in such cool wind. Managers should always keep a thumb rule. All television sets have a mute function. It mostly depends on your mood for where you would like to go. I hope I wasn't rude in my statement. Racialist behavior involves being crude. Food for thought, that's what I would say. Mostly all citrus fruits have vitamins. Single U sound, similar to that of an double O mouth formation. However, this time without any stretch of the oo sound. For example, book, look, took, shook, hook, crook, rook, put, foot. Have you seen the book I was reading yesterday? Hey, did you have a look outside this morning? I took everything now. I'm here to take you. He shook my hand and went away forever. Captain Hook was my favorite cartoon character. You better not trust him. I find him to be a crook. In the game of chess, the rook is a very important piece. Can you please put him down? He might get hurt. I need to go to the doctor. I think I've hurt my foot. Double E sound. When an E sounds like an E, this is a stretch of an E sound. For example, sleep, weep, deep, feet, heap, teeth, cheap, peep, leap, fleet, queer, read, greed, treat, wheat, petite. I'm really tired. Can I please go to sleep? I saw him that day. He was very upset. It was as if he was about to weep. There was a water drilling going on in my backyard. You should have been there. It was very deep. If a singular form is foot, then plural should be feet. It was such a childish argument between the two, but still, it created a heap. I told my son that brushing teeth should be a regular habit. I wanted to fly to Singapore, but the tickets were quite expensive. I was looking for something cheap. The kids were so curious to know that they started to peep inside the keyhole. I felt that joining my new organization, it was a big leap in my career. Proper fleet management for airlines is very important. He said something in the meeting, which was very strange and queer. You know, we should always try to read newspapers. We can gain a lot of knowledge. Being selfish is also to have greed for things. Chocolates for kids are a great treat. Farmers depend on their household income by the amount of wheat they are able to produce. In French, things that are small in size are called petite. Single E sound. This is a very simple and self-explanatory sound. Mouth opening should be very minute, and the tip of your tongue needs to touch the ridge of your lower gums, while flapping up to the front of your upper jaw, or your palate, to complete the next sound. For example, slept, crept, depth, net site, internet, debt, read, met, fed, bread, dread, cat, swept, ten, any, many, pet, bet, let, set, regret, jet. I was so tired that I slept like a baby. He crept out of nowhere. It was such a shock. Certain topics of study need to be understood in depth. I was looking for a net site, which I can use to obtain cooking recipes. The internet is a great medium to search for items. If you owe him so much of money, then you are in great debt. She was so angry with him that she turned red. Have you seen that classical movie of When Harry Met Sally? If you try to raise kittens, then they need to be fed regularly. Some poor people are even deprived of bread. The movie was so frightening, rather, it was a dread. For many couples, romance has kept the relationship alive. When I first saw him, he swept me off my feet. In the Bible, there are 10 commandments. The receptionist told me, "Sir, is there anything else I can help you with?" There were so many people in the cricket stadium. I would love to have a dog as a pet. I can anytime bet you that he would never leave her. She needs to let him do his work. Can you please set the oven on low heat? I might regret this someday. A high-speed airplane can also be known as a jet. Small I sound. This is very simple and self-explanatory sound as well. The mouth opening should be very minute, and your tongue needs to remain flat on your lower jaw or your lower palate. And the tip of your tongue needs to slightly touch the bottom of your lower teeth. For example, flip, sit, tip, hit, grip, fit, lips, trip, bit, knit, kit, lit, sit, pit, executive, positive, decided, opportunity. In acrobatics, you need to flip and rotate your body. This is a new soft drink. Here, have a sip. Wait. We should first tip the waiter. In boxing, every hit gains the player a point. Some people do mountain climbing as a hobby. For that, you require a great grip. Are you fit enough to handle this project? It seems quite tough. You can trust me. My lips are sealed. I've worked too much in my life. I should go on a holiday trip. A bit of knowledge is what everyone lives for. Elderly women tend to knit clothes for their grandchildren. My son wanted to play cricket, so I bought him a cricket kit. I went to camp and actually lit a fire all by myself. Why don't you sit down? You must be tired after the long journey. I overcame a disastrous pit on the way to work today. As a managing executive, I need to utilize my resources. Capital I sound. When an I sounds like an I. This is an AH plus an AY sound, which becomes a capital I sound, sounding like an I. For example, I, five, dive, life, bribe, hive, bite, night, tight, sight, aspire, drive, divide, hide, isolate, irate. He's very sharp. He's got the eye of a tiger. I've got $5 in my pocket. I'm sorry. You're not allowed to dive into the pool. I've tried to stay fit all my life. I would never ever accept a bribe. The kids were playing around the beehive. That can be very dangerous. Here, I've made a sandwich for you. Why don't you take a bite? I started writing a story in the cold winter night. Can you help me open this jar? It seems to be quite tight. I can't find him. There's nothing in sight. I've tried a lot to aspire into his thoughts. He's only 16 years old, and he's already learning to dive. Learning to divide is a very important aspect of mathematics. The kids were playing a game of hide and seek. I can think, well, if I'm isolated. Handling irate customers is tough. At the same time, very important. UH sound. Very similar to the I with the E sound. This is a very simple and self-explanatory sound as well. The mouth opening should be very minute, and your tongue needs to remain flat on your lower jaw or your lower palate. And the tip of your tongue needs to slightly touch the bottom of your lower gums. This is also known as a schwa sound. For example, love, work, cover, turf, gulf, run, fun, rubber, tough, buffer, crust, must, pulse, rust, bankrupt, interrupt. It's been 6 months. They've definitely fallen in love. My new job requires me to work for 10 hours a day. Can you cover me while I take a break? According to the pitch report, The turf seems to be hard, and the ball is most likely to give an extra bounce. The Gulf War lasted for so many years. As a warm-up exercise, you should always run. Hope you enjoy and have lots of fun while completing this activity. An eraser can also be known as a rubber. This doesn't seem tough, as I thought it would be. The unit said that they might need a buffer stock. Can you please slice out the crust from the sides first? We must understand each other before we can start working together. Pulse of your heartbeat is a bit on the higher side. Metallic objects seem to rust in rain. It hurts when you see a business tycoon go bankrupt. I'm sure it's really annoying when someone interrupts while you're talking. Plosive sounds. The word plosive is derived from the word explosive. It obviously means a heavy burst. The English alphabet also contains some of these plosives in the form of consonants. As we all know, the English alphabet consists of 26 letters, which are a combination of 5 vowels, A, E, I, O, and U, and 21 consonants. Out of these 21 consonants, 6 are known as plosives. These are P, B, T, D, K, G. Now the question is, why are they even known as plosives? They're known as plosives because these 6 consonants or letters are heavier than the rest of the consonants. They provide more of an impact, which actually means more of a burst. This burst is in the form of a gush of air released from our mouth organ while producing the sound. Even though B, D, and G are plosives, however, we will only concentrate and try to improvise on the letters P, T, and K. This is because B, D, and G are plosives, offering a heavier sound than the rest of the consonants. However, they do not provide a gush or a burst of air. So, P, T, and K is what we'll work on. Sound. In order to produce an American P, we'll need to obtain a sound which is not so light as an Indian P and not so heavy as a heavy Indian P. Rather, just a sound which is in the middle. First, we need to slightly curl our lower lip inside, close our mouth, and then get some amount of air trapped into your mouth. We then release this air with some pressure. But remember, not too much. Let's try this now. P. Say this 5 times. Now with some words. People, places, pity, power, pick, petite, prison, pipe, present, patriotic, possible, pleasant, personal, private, party, police. Now with some American names. Peter, Patrick, Pamela, Patricia, Paul, Pauline, Pedro, Peggy. So, if the P is in the beginning of a word, it will always be a plosive P sound. And if the P falls in the middle, then most of the times it's a non-plosive P. However, in some cases, even if the P is in the middle, it will still be a plosive P. There's no such rule for this. However, at times apply your own judgment and see in which way does a word sound better. For example, importance, cooperate, appreciate, apologize, opponent, appraisal, improve, cooperation, appreciated, appropriate, applaud, apply, improvise, cooperative, appreciation, upon, apparent, application. Now with a passage. Pauline, Peter, and Patrick were all perfect in their professional college. Patrick pretty much knew it all. Pauline and Peter picked up their degrees prior to Patrick. Pave our path for prosperity was their pledge. Patrick and Pauline would dream of places where they could procure peace and harmony. People would always pity the poor kids for how much they would pressurize themselves in their studies. The T sound. In order to produce an American T sound, the tip of your tongue needs to touch on the bottom ridge of your upper gums. Unlike the tip touching in the center of your upper hard palate, like for the Indian T sound. Let's try this now. T. Say this 5 times. Now with some words. Tomorrow, tour, terrible, teenage, terminate, table, time, tournament, turn, tough, tap, tone, tennis, terrific, trial, tiny, tight, tongue. Now with some American names. Tony, Thomas, Todd, Teresa, Tyrene, Tyrone, Tom, Trevor. Some T rules. Rule number 1. If the T is in the beginning of a word, plosive T in all cases. It took Tim 10 times to try the telephone. Stop touching Ted's toes. Turn towards Stella and study her contract together. Control your tears. It's Tommy's turn to tell the teacher the truth. Timothy and Todd told Teresa, their secretary, to total up their accounts. Second rule. If the T is in the middle of 2 vowels, it becomes a soft D sound. Keep in mind that the soft D should not be mistaken with an exact D sound. Otherwise, that would be quite heavy. For the soft D sound, your tongue needs to flap up to the bottom ridge of your upper gums. It's the same position as a plosive American T sound. However, in this case, all you need to do is flap at that position and not apply any effort. For example, butter, computer, matter, water, waiter, later, Saturday, positive, pattern, bottle. What a good idea! Put it in a bottle. Write it in a letter. Set it on the metal gutter. Put all the data in the computer. Insert a quarter in the meter. Get a better water heater. Or put a sweater on. Betty's at a meeting. It's getting hotter and hotter. Patty ought to write a better letter. Freda had a little metal bottle. Betty bought a bit of better butter. Pat ought to sit on a lap. Rule number 3. If the T is at the end of a word, it becomes a held T sound. In this case, the T sound is almost silent, but not exactly silent. For this, the tip of your tongue needs to touch on the front wall of your upper gums. It needs to be more like a resting position. That's why it's called a held T. There's no effort at the end, so there's no sound either. For example, cat, right, put, fight, height, sight, bright, might, white, plate, rate, fate, trait, hate, mate, great. Take it. It's what they want to get. Put them back in the pot. Set the clock back at the event. Did you find at that site? Rule number 4. T before the N is also a held T sound, but in this case, the flapping motion is more in use. For example, shorten, written, fountain, mountain, rotten, eaten. We tried to shorten the kindergarten class. Courtney had written about the fountain of youth. The sumo wrestlers had eaten well to fatten up. Whitney's rotten kitten has bitten Martin. They've eaten a lot of chutney in Britain. The molten lava poured down the mountain. Certain that the Satan mitten is near the curtain. Rule number 5. If N is before the T, then the T goes silent. For example, internet becomes internet. Similarly, interact, interview, international, percentage, advantage. He interrupted 20 interviews in Toronto. There was a large percentage of international students. He won't even interfere with the interaction. We took full advantage of the internet. He drove interstate through to Atlanta. He's at the Intercontinental Hotel. He wasn't even helping out. He hasn't bothered you much, has he? We won't always do it, believe me. Patty was quite right, wasn't she? Trevor, Todd, and Teresa would time together every night and go out for the movies. Their favorite movie was The Teacher Taught the Truth to Tony. Todd and Teresa were quite fond of tourism. In fact, they thought of touring together to 20 different tourist spots. Trevor, however, was a typical untidy person, so for him, packing for a tour seemed terrible. K sound. An American K sound has the same placement that we can make for the light Indian K sound. However, since this is a non-voice sound, which means that more breath is involved rather than voice, for the K, we'll need more air than the light Indian K sound. Let's try this out now. K. Say this 5 times. Now with some words. Care, could, king, kite, cotin, liver, cushion, crane, create, creation, code, common, keep. Now with some American names. Kathy, Kathy, Catherine, Katie, Kelly, Cooper, Kyle, Kevin, Christina, Kobe, Christy, Christine. So if a word starts with the letter C or K, it will in both cases produce an American K sound. Keeping in mind that the sound already should sound like an Indian K. For example, words like center start with a C, but it has an S sound. Therefore, we will not pronounce it as canter. K passage. Catherine, Katie, and Kelly were quite close when it came to being companions. Kelly and Katie could not keep a secret. They couldn't care much for privacy. Catherine kept a close contact with Katie's brother Cooper, who stayed in California. Cooper cooperated a lot to cope with Catherine's habit of cake baking. She would bake a cake for Cooper and Kelly, but would fall short to keep a slice of cake for Katie. TH sound. If we compare the two Indian sounds related to the TH, we can obtain a light Indian TH sound and a heavy Indian TH sound. The tongue placements for the above are as follows. Light Indian TH. For this, the tip of the tongue touches the back wall of the teeth, while the hump of the tongue touches the upper gum area. For example, Thursday sounds like Thursday. Thought sounds like thought. Heavy Indian TH. For this sound, the hump of the tongue touches the ridge of our upper gums. For example, Thursday sounds like Thursday. Thought sounds like taught. Both of these sounds are incorrect. Rather, we need to accommodate a more neutralized version of the TH sound. The American TH also has two sounds for words having TH as a consonant sound. They're known as the BOA, breeze of air, and the buzz. For the TH sound as a breeze of air, your tongue needs to slightly come out of your mouth, about half a centimeter, and be placed right between the upper and the lower teeth. Now, while your tongue is caught between the teeth, try giving out some air. This air should sound quite like a hissing sound or a breeze. Next step. While releasing this air as a breeze, start giving the sound to the word. And remember, the breeze is a vital part to the correct TH sound as a BOA. Without it, it'll again sound like Indianized. BOA Step 1. Tongue placed between the teeth. Step 2. Releasing air in the form of a breeze. Step 3. Continuing with the breeze, start pronouncing the word, keeping the position and the breeze constant. For example, Thursday, throw, 30, thirsty, thread, through, threat, thermometer, thanks, thunder, thesis, 3, thankful, 1,000, thought, thorough, thorn, think, thigh, threshold. If you're free, then we can meet on Thursday. I need some thread to knit a cloth. Hey, thanks a lot. I really needed your help. I'm so thankful to you for the support you provided me. That hurts. I think there's a thorn stuck in my foot. If you throw the ball harder, you'll definitely get him out. You done with your homework? Are you through with every topic? She was so scared with the heavy thunder and the rainy night. My first salary was 1,000 rupees. Always think before you say something. My class had 30 students in it. His health was a threat to his work as well. In his management course, he had to write a thesis as well. It just slipped out of my mind. I never thought about the consequences. After jogging so much in the mornings, my thighs started to hurt. Aren't you tired after a long day? You must be thirsty. The kids were feeling sick after coming back from camp. Their mother checked their temperature with a thermometer. My new neighborhood had 3 shopping malls. I'm quite thorough when it comes to mathematics. After the new year, I decided on raising the threshold for my career prospects. Buzz. The second TH sound is very similar to the BOA sound. In this, the tongue placement remains the same. However, in this case, the flat part of your tongue is in more contact with the bottom of your upper teeth, and your mouth, as usual, partly closed. No air is released this time. However, a certain vibration is acquired after your tongue touches your upper teeth. This is a tingling feeling. And at the end, the result is like a zzz sound. Step 1. Tongue placed between the teeth. Step 2. Contact with the bottom of your upper teeth. Step 3. Providing a vibration, a buzz. Step 4. Continuing with the buzz, start pronouncing the word, keeping the position and the buzz constant. For example, there, that, those, them, this, these, though, they, thy, either, gather, together, mother, father, brother, leather, feather, rather, lather, neither. He was right there in front of you. How could you miss him? These are the candidates I was talking about. Try to gather as much as material as possible for their presentation. For her birthday, I gave her a leather coat. Is that for me? Thank you so much. I could have topped the test, though I didn't try too hard. As long as we're together, we'll survive. Feather in your hat will make it look just perfect. I somehow knew that those people would not make it. There they are. Look right behind the soda machine. The kids confessed in front of their mother that they'd lied. You seem rather intelligent today, much better than yesterday's performance. In a church, the priest is known as the father. If you rub your hands long enough with soap, you'll get some lather. Thy and thou were words used by Shakespeare a lot. They're this or that. Which one do you want? Neither look good on me. Now some practice. Thursday came in a thrust to throw a mockery towards them, who although could not think a thorough thought. Then came the thought that took them through to the thirst to keep them thinking thoroughly. Thor is the god of thunder. Thelma and Theo have bad breath. 3 free thrilling frills fought on Ruth's roof. Thieves are thankless thugs who deserve our wrath. Nothing is worth thousands of deaths. Mr. Smith's teeth are thin and lethal. Thursdays are thirsty days for lethargic Ruth and Thelma. It seems themes are sought by thousands of mythical misses. Thick ticks on 3 trees brought broth to 10 thin tin men. Sick thickets thwarted 7 thin sinners from passing through. What passage? Thomas loved to talk on the telephone. Every time it rang, he shouted, "It'll be for me." He would chat for up to 2 hours each time. Often people would try to ring only to get an engaged sound. His sister thought this was terrible. "Thomas," she said, "you talk too much." Tired of fighting with his sister, Thomas bought a mobile phone. Then his friends could contact him at any time. One Tuesday afternoon, as Thomas watched a tennis tournament, his telephone started to ring. "G'day, mate," Thomas boomed. "Terrific to hear from you." The man sitting next to him turned to him and told Thomas to be quiet. But Thomas was talking so loudly he couldn't hear. "We want to watch the tennis," the crowd shouted. Suddenly, some students started tossing hot chips covered with tomato sauce at Thomas. He looked around and realized he was in trouble. Saying goodbye to his mate, he slipped out of the stand as quietly as he could. He found the nearest toilets and washed his face and t-shirt. Thomas realized what a bad taste it was to have a telephone ring at a tennis tournament. He turned off his telephone. As he trudged home, Thomas decided that telephones were not for him. Now he communicates by email on the computer instead. Pronunciation. Most of the commonly used words in the English vocabulary are pronounced differently in different parts of the world. In order to be understood globally, we need to maintain a neutral pronunciation. Remember, keep on listening to the word and repeating it until you're absolutely convinced that you've said it correctly. Immediate, immediately, develop, development, opportunity, schedule, education, definite, definitely, absolutely, deliberate, deliberately, purchase, record, atmosphere, devastated, devastation, details, determine, environment, naive, tuition, any, many, politics, politicians, possible, possibility, saline, insatiable, merchandise, colonel, lieutenant, executive, manager, management, hour, vowel, warranty, issue, general, garage, consultant, engineer, engineering, comfortable, vulnerable, economy, economics, geology, geometry, geography, trigonometry, psychology, thermometer, destiny, destined, presentation, civilization, organization, echo, zebra, H, Z. Passage. Teresa, Timothy, and Walter were on a walk one day when it started to rain. Teresa and Timothy deliberately did not bring any umbrellas because they loved the rain. And they kept in mind not to inform Walter about the weatherman giving the possibility of a shower, because they knew that Walter would not even come out of the house if he had known. "Why did you not tell me? Don't you even care about my health condition?" said Walter. Then Teresa said, "So what, Walter? You need to get out more often, not just occasionally." Peter came to his office and was immediately told to leave by one of his superiors. In extreme anger, he switched off his mobile phone and trudged home. Later that day, he received a phone call from a consultant who was offering him an opportunity to join a much bigger firm. Michael got his new credit card on the 16th of April, and he was aware that it would expire on the 18th of January. But somehow, he forgot to make his first payment, which was due on the 18th of May. This seemed devastating for his customer profile. He even called up customer care for extending the date. However, it was not possible to do that. Michelle and Catherine went to the mall to purchase some clothing for their school get-together. But they found out that the prices were somewhere near $80 to $100, and their allowance could only permit them to go for something around $40. Luckily, they found a shop which was having its clearance sale. And on top of that, they saw a great sweater for only $25.99. The girls were laughing in excitement that they actually saved for the first time, and that too $14. She sat with her shoulders shrunk together, and seeing the senator pass by, she should have been more sincere towards her salutations. Although there was a shine in her smile, which clearly showed respect for her seniors, she should have shown more sincerity. Thursday came in a thrust to throw a mockery towards them, who although could not think a thorough thought. Then came the thought that took them through to the thirst to keep them thinking thoroughly. Chad studied at Charleston Junior High. He loved to eat chips and chat with friends the whole day. However charming he still was cheated upon in a chance to become chosen as the chirpiest. This is a mock interview practice. Listen carefully. Audio listen 5. Is this ABC Limited?
Yes, how can I help you?
I read your ad in the newspaper about the opening for a customer care executive.
Yes.
Could I know about the eligibility criteria and the sort of package being offered?
Certainly. You'll first need to go through a telephonic interview assessment.
Okay.
Could I know something about yourself?
My name's Rahul. I stay in West Delhi. I belong to a family of 4. My work experience includes 1 year of exposure in the software industry. Currently, I'm working with ABC Software Company as a software engineer. I joined as a junior technician and after 6 months got promoted to the software engineer level. As far as my education is concerned, I've completed my graduation in BCA course and I've done it from Delhi University. Currently, I'm pursuing a course in engineering from Delhi University. This course will complete in year 2004. If you would like to know my hobbies, they include playing basketball, playing chess on the internet, and playing pool. In terms of computers, I possess a typing speed of 40 words per minute and have a basic knowledge of Windows 95. I can read and write 3 languages, Hindi, English, and Punjabi. That's about it from my side. Is there anything else that you would like to know?
That sounds good. Could you define the sort of responsibilities that you are assigned in your current organization?
Sure. The organization is majorly into software development, and in which I have been assigned the role of an engineer. My profile includes handling my team and developing new softwares for the company.
Where do you see yourself in the next 2 years?
In the next 2 years, I would definitely like to be at a very stable position in a prestigious organization, keeping in mind that within these 2 years, I would not permit myself to change the organization or hopping, as they call it.
What advantages would be gained if we employ you?
If I get a chance to be in your company, I'll make sure that my dedication and commitment to my work atmosphere is recognized, and the company in return offers me a chance to grow based on my developed capabilities.